Let's talk about Sony FX6. Sony FX6 is a beast of a camera, and also it's this Netflix approved camera. Just for you to know, the industry kind of trusts the camera. And for me, I have used the camera not only one time, not only two times, not only 1 month, not only 3 months. I could say even for most of the time I have been away from YouTube, because this year a lot of things happens to me. I got an accident, I had a surgery, my hand was broken. Amidst of all of these, I also still has like 2 big documentary screening here in Berlin, and also my film also opened at the box office. So it was really it's been a minute, it's been a minute. And well, I want to talk about FX6 because I've used the camera and I've used it to shoot project that got shows in the cinema in a big festival, and it pushed the boundaries. And this is like a really good camera for anyone who is, let's say, you are independent filmmaker, and let's say the indie world, you are independent filmmaker and you also want to push the boundary a little bit. But I will still say Sony FX6 is not for everyone. It's not a camera for YouTubers. It's not camera for you to film your vlog or something like this. And of course, if you are already thinking about Sony FX6, it means you already understand, like, you have some production that is currently going on, because it's going to make no sense if you buy a camera of 6,000 euro and you just sit it at home because you just want to have it or something like that. But if you're shooting a project, a big project, like, you're documenting something, you're going after an event, or let's say even short films or a feature films or something like that, yes, you really need a camera like Sony FX6. And what I love about Sony FX6 is also how compatible it is, how mobile it is, because you don't need too much to set it up for it to work. For example, if you get a red camera, you need to buy every pieces of that camera for it to work. You need to buy the handle, you need to buy the monitor, you need to buy a cage, you need to make sure you can mount the V-mount battery on it. It needs a lot of process. For red camera, you need a lot of cable running around and things like that. But Sony FX6 is a bit different, because I would say, if you have a V-mount battery, and because also there is like this monitor on the camera that you can use, all of this makes it very fast to use. And it also has autofocus. If you use, let's say, the Sony G Master lens or something like that, it also has autofocus. So it's a camera, like, it bridges the gap for you if you don't have, let's say, that big crew to have someone pulling focus for you or something like that. But it's a camera that I would say, if you're using it, you need to make sure you have like some production to it, like some lighting, it has to be like good. And it's very fast. And also I love the sensor, by the way. The only problem I think I have with the Sony FX6 is also because of the built-in ND filter. I will explain that. For some people, they will say, are you crazy? Why? The built-in ND filter, sometime when you exposing, let's say, in some scene, like, is more of, let's say, daylight and there's some sun and you have a blue sky, this is where the ND filter, sometime it turns the blue sky into something different. No matter how much sometime I try to go around with the color grading, it results into something I don't like. So this is the reason why I just think, for me personally, the camera is good, but sometimes, even maybe you will say, if the lens I'm using is good enough, I'm using Sigma Cine lens. Those are really expensive prime lens from Sigma. It's not a joke of a lens. They are expensive and they're really, really good lens. So the bokeh, and it's just a good camera. It's just a good lenses I'm using. So it's not just like using cheap lenses to say, okay, to talk about the camera. And also how I think the Sony FX6 approach, let's say, highlight and shadow, I think it depends on how you film, but what I would say is, when it comes to like the highlight, sometime the highlight, when you expose it, if you don't know how to expose image properly, you could easily make a mistake with the exposing of the camera, because sometimes if you're using the ND filter, and let's say if you had another ND filter on top, which sometimes in some case it's not needed, but let's just say you're just only using the built-in ND filter. In this way, when you are exposing, sometimes you have to push the ND filter a bit higher to get, let's say, the proper exposure for you. But what you will forget is when you're using it, when you're pushing it that way, also the color, the density of the colors in that frame you're trying to expose, the density of those colors increases. So that means if you have a red in like a normal range, and when you are pushing the ND filter up, so the red is becoming thick and dark and black a little bit. And this is what I meant with like the built-in ND filter. Sometimes it's just like it works in some scenario, it works really good, and so in some case it's just, I just don't like it at all. I just want to expose properly with my own ND, and this is why I would say on that end, this is what I don't enjoy about it. So in most cases, what I usually do is I will get my Rode microphone. I will show you right seconds. So this is what I usually do, like for me to get a audio. This is the Rode wireless GoPro. So I always mount this transmitter, this receiver to the camera, and then I'll plug it. And this one here, I just use it also to get like some really audio, like separate audio. Apart from the audio I am going to record and put somewhere, like sometimes I have someone recording audio for me separately, but in this way also too you can get like a really good audio, just like a built-in audio from the scene and so on. Sometimes the microphone on the table, and I let the camera to keep talking to each other. And believe me, even I sometimes underestimate, if the audio is going to be good, because I will rely on this external audio. The gaffer is like recording separately, and also the audio guy is recording separately, because I always make sure I have, let's say, 2-person recording external audio for me. So in this way too, the audio is always good, really. And I can say it's both from the camera combination, the camera and the microphone. So what I'm trying to say is it's a camera that can help you to push the boundary, and it's flexible, it's mobile, and the image quality doesn't disappoint you, trust me. And this is what I really love about the camera. And the only thing, if I would say, what I would say I would love to see in the camera, if they are going to make another, let's say, Sony FX6, the monitor that you can also add to the camera that comes with the camera. Also, I think you have to buy that separately. So the small monitor you can mount on the top, like the box of the, I would like that monitor to be a little bit bigger, because that monitor, it helps, but it's just way too small. So if it's a little bit bigger, this is what I would love to see in the let's say Sony FX6, for example, or maybe Sony FX6X or something like that. But X is not always a good way to go. But let's say Sony FX6, I would love to see the bigger monitor to help you to expose the image, and also for you to give you a room to be able to see more from what you're shooting, because the one you have, it's good, it's just way too small for me. And this is what I think I would love to see. But in terms of, let's say, image quality wise and everything, it's really it's there. But let's talk about the price point. So 6,000 euro for that camera, is it worth it? It depends on who you ask. If let's say you have some filmmaker who have been making film for, let's say, 15-20 years ago, and if they will have what we have now, they will tell you, believe me, they will have done more. So now I could say it's worth it. The money, it's worth it. But if I am someone who is going to go into, let's say, this Sony ecosystem, someone new who wants to get a Sony camera that can help them to be able, I would say maybe you go for Sony FX3, because that you can always rig it up, and you always use it as a YouTube thing to create your YouTube videos and so on. So in this way, that you have half of both worlds. But if you're someone who want to stay on, let's say, Netflix level production, Amazon level production, you know, like a big feature film production, FX6, yes, can help you to achieve that. But I think you will need two of that camera, which is going to be, let's say, around 10 quid or 10 grand. So, but that's, it's okay, you know, that's it's not bad. It's not bad investment. But again, when you have to like add some few accessory to it, the price could wrap up, like, you know, add up like really fast. So, but at the end of the day, I will still say it's a really good camera, but there is a lot of hops with the built-in hand diffuser, and there is also a lot of down with it as well. But again, this is my own honest opinion and honest review about the Sony FX6. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Even though the camera is 5 years old, but it's still important in the industry and it's worth it. Ciao.